Hey guys, well, here we go again. This is going to be round two. You can clearly see where I was at last time. I posted the video of it. Interesting note, this is a Mercedes. It's a luxury car. And if you look around, there's nothing here except the ashtray and the radio and the console. You look on the doors, there's absolutely no place to put a coffee. Isn't that interesting? Except right there. Those were right there. Now, I get it that, this is a great place to put your stuff while you're stationary, but that is not a moving cup holder. That is for when you're sitting out somewhere. So I gotta ask, being that it's a luxury car, what were they thinking? This car's meant to move. It's meant to drive. It's meant to go. And you want to take your stuff with you when you do that. That means you have to stop. And that's not going to work for me. So when all this is said and done, I am going to put something in here somewhere, I don't know where yet, to put a coffee, a drink, whatever. Anyways, I thought that was an interesting tidbit. I'm going to carry on with the dash. I'm going to remove this console. I am going to have to get up underneath. I don't know if you can see it, but right past the steering wheel here. You probably can't see it. Right up past the steering wheel there. I'm going to have to get my hand up in there and remove the cable from the back of the cluster in order to get that off, and then the dash, all of this will come off. So that's my next step, and I will check back with you in however long this takes. If you hear screaming, you'll understand. So, yeah, here's the instrument cluster. It's out. That was a lot more wires than I expected. We have here 1, 2, 3 lights that went in here. That's one of the lights there. We had this plug, this plug, this plug, odometer or speedometer, these two plugs, this plug, this pin, this plug, what else? Oh, and of course these 3 connections, which I have no idea what they do, but I pulled them apart anyways. This came apart wrong. This should have just pulled apart. It's just a male-female connector. It looks like 14 to 16 gauge. Nothing wrong with the cluster itself. I am going to have to rewire that 14 to 16 gauge because it stripped apart, and you see the bare wire right there. See that? That shouldn't have happened. It doesn't matter. It happens like this in some cases where you end up pulling something apart you shouldn't have. Alright guys, one final video before the dash comes out. Look where I'm at. The whole thing is loose and ready to come out. All I have to do, there's something being held on in back behind here, and I don't know quite what it is yet. I'm going to find out. As soon as my camera focuses, there we go. I'm going to find out. It's in here somewhere. So we're going to find out what that is right now. It's the last little thing. Everything else looks like smooth forward. It's just like there's 1 or 2 hang-ups back there, and I just don't know what it is yet. The next video should be of the dash completely off, assuming I can get around these pieces down here. See this section here? Assuming I can get it up and around this to slide the dash out that way. We shall see. Alright, y'all. Looks to me like the dash is out. It's ugly. There's a lot of freaking cables and wires everywhere. There's the actual dash outside on the ground. And, ladies and gentlemen, there's the steering wheel. I actually managed to get that bastard out without touching the steering wheel. It wasn't pretty, but I didn't break anything. I always count that as a bonus. Except, of course, that one wire that I showed you. Now, this is that bloody case I was telling you about. My job now is to, I don't know if you can see it from the top now. Let's see if I can get my finger in the image here. That hose right down there, the silver hose, the silver pipe, those are the bolts, and the plastic piece is right in there. That's what I'm going for. Now I have to remove this case here once I get back into focus. There we go. Welcome back. This case here has to come out, this whole thing. So I don't know if I have to remove this frame bar or not. We will see. But this is my next step. This is what's got to come out. Alright guys, I don't know how much further I'm going to go today, but you see what I've done. You see where I'm at. You see the entire dash is out. Now, in order to get this case out, so now I know why you have to take out the bloody steering wheel. So if you take out the steering wheel, then you can remove all of this down here, and you can get to this bar. So, being as I found a way to remove the dash without the steering wheel, I'm going to find a way to remove this bar without having to remove the steering wheel too. And in theory, if I've done this right, 2 bolts there, see them? This nut here, which holds up the frame of the steering wheel underneath. I don't know if you can see it under there. And the bar continues on, and there are 3 nuts, 1, 2, 3. The whole thing, rather than removing this bar and detaching all of these bloody wires all the way along, you see all this? I'd have to remove all those wires. Instead of doing that, what I'm thinking is once that bolt's undone and then these bolts are out, I can just drop this whole thing forward down towards me. That means this bar here will drop down. Now, there is a bar right here that looks like it's holding it up, and I'm going to have to figure out what to do with that, but it looks like I can just loosen this or take it out, and we'll see. But that's where I'm at right now. One quick addition. This is the case. It is loose. I have moved it a little bit. If you can see, it is loose up and down. Here's the hose going out. The hose coming in is in back here, and I've got that off. I had to remove these nuts here. There's 2 here, and there's 1 down there, and there's supposed to be 1 on this side underneath as well, but I don't know if you can see it right where that line is. The pin is sticking straight out. There's supposed to be a nut there too, but there wasn't. Now this whole thing is in fact loose. It is moving up and down a little bit. I'm obviously hung up on something. First things first, I'm going to take this bar and move it forward. But also the heater on the blower motor is attached to this just on the other side here, inside the firewall. There's a little cavity for it, and it's all attached to the casing. When I pull it out, I'm going to pull it a little ways, and then you can just see a couple wires attached to it, so I got to get rid of those. But in the meantime, I am going to go look up another video just to see how to remove that bar, because I've seen two different versions of it. When I've seen people take apart these consoles, I've seen people take apart like 3 different or 4 different switches, and that's it. This or 3 or 4 different lines. This one came apart with like that. Like, there's so much. Like, I can remember where everything goes, and obviously the plugs are quite unique. They can't be interchanged, so that's kind of cool. Easy to go back in, but you know, I want to be able to do this right. I want to be able to get to this and do it right. I don't want to screw this up. I'm going to be able to fix the heater core once I get to it. I just got to get to it, and I'm almost there. We'll see. Time will tell.